Hi, and it is May here in Arizona 2024. This is your Arizona real estate market update. My name is Nicole Black, your Arizona Realtor, and let's dive into some of the articles that are out there that could potentially put a spin on what's happening nationally. But is it really happening here in Arizona? Let's check it out. Okay, as you can see, this article right here, it says that there's nearly 100,000 U.S. properties faced with foreclosure filings in Q1 of 2024. Now, if you read this, would you be like, yep, it's happening? All those people on the internet, everybody said we're coming to crash. It's 2008 again. Yep, it's starting. Well, if you get deeper into the article and you read it, it's really, by the way, hyper local sensitive to certain areas across the country. As you can see, Delaware, New Jersey, South Carolina, Nevada, Florida. We've already been hearing about Florida and Nevada happening. Cleveland, I guess Orlando, Florida again. So it's hyper local to certain areas across the nation. But is it happening in Arizona? Because personally, I love you, America, and I love where everybody else is. I really am. But I don't know. I don't have access to your areas. I can't help. But I do have access to information data for Arizona. So let's check out what's happening right here in AZ. Okay, so I want to show you two things from the Crumford Market Report. And you guys, I've talked about Crumford all the time because it's hyper specific just to Arizona. The 17 major cities here is where they gather their data from. They've been around for over 20 years and been very, very accurate indicators because they have our data, our specific data today for us. So as you can see, here are the notice of trustee sales by month. And you can see our height was 2008, 2009, right here. Where are we at today? We're right there. It's really low. So as you can see, yeah, we've kind of gone back to having actual foreclosures and stuff happening because around the pandemic, the 2020, 2021, we didn't. There's barely any. So we're getting back to a point where we see them, but again, they're not super significant. But let's look at this one as well. Because I know when you take into consideration the 2008, 2009, that's like the biggest bubble from the great financial crisis. We had that black swan event happen in our economy, which you've heard me talk about. Right now, with the economics that's happening, there is no indication of a crash. Maybe a correction, that's healthy, but a crash, no indication, unless, like 2008, black swan event. And what am I saying about black swan event? Banks crashing. Yes, are like 70% of the local banks around the United States crash. Yeah, we're going to have a black swan event. War across the country, restricting some of our supplies that we need, like oil. Yes, those are black swan events that can affect our economy. But right now, with the real estate market, what's going on in its economy in particular, not taking external factors, there's no indication. So when we take that out, let's look at now the trustee deeds by quarter starting in 2014. As you can see right here, we're still at super low levels even before the pandemic in 2019. So we are not seeing any indication of a wave of foreclosures coming in Arizona at this time. The next thing I want to dive into is where are the sellers and the buyers' mentality at in Arizona? So if you're coming to buy here, if you're looking to sell here, what's going on in that aspect? Let's take a look at this next article. We get this article from Yahoo Finance. It's saying the U.S. housing market, how do buyers feel about fixer-uppers? Oh gosh, you guys know Joanna and Chip Gaines, right? From HGTV. Everybody loves them. I think some of those popular things to search on YouTube are the how-tos, how to redo your bathroom, how to upgrade your kitchen. People do love it in this country, but do they love it when they're buying a house in today's market? According to this article, they do not. The fixer-uppers are a no-go for people. And why would you think that? Let's think. You are now buying a house at one of the most peak price points we have seen in history. And do you want to then have to put in another $50,000 to $100,000 in to make it look like what you want with already at over 7% mortgage rate? It makes sense. It makes sense that one, buyers have time now. They can kick the tires around. Like houses typically aren't flying off the market unless they are in a really good condition, in a really good area, and somebody prices them under. Yes, if you see a house that should be going for, let's say, 1.1 million, but it's for 900,000 and it's gorgeous, you are going to get a ton of buyers on it. And yes, it's going to go quick and there'll be multiple offers. It's really rare to see, but like I told you guys last week, I was in one of those. So it still does happen. But if you have a home, or if you're going into a home that is a fixer upper, and you're asking top market dollar for it, it's probably going to sit at this time, and it may sit for a while, or you might have to do pricing concessions or an actual price cut. People, when they're paying these top dollar prices with these interest rates, they want a ready to move in home. Okay, so we've already covered that we're not having a wave of foreclosures, that if your house is not already in the Joanna Gaines and Chip Gaines condition, and you want top dollar, it might sit for a while as a seller. And as a buyer, you're really not wanting to go and be Chip and Joanna Gaines at those prices. It's understandable. The next thing we're going to cover is the fact that, are we going into the summer where our typical months where we slow down in sales? Is it going to be really hard for sellers, or could buyers get a buy? So typically in Arizona, before 2020, as agents, we would educate our clients that when we go into the summer months, typically, especially the luxury market between May 31st and September 1st, everything slows down. Like that slows down a lot. And the other market slows down a little bit too, because a lot of people don't like to move in 120. Makes sense. But from 2020, that blew it out of the water. 2021 blew it out of the water. 2022 actually kind of did a weird thing, and it wasn't really going, it kind of went down. It started to, went up, kind of went down. And then in 2023, blew at least my mind as an agent, because usually when we get to the summer months, and also the time interest rates are still rising, we're all like, that's going to be a great time to buy. Prices should be coming down. The opposite happened in Arizona. In 2023, when interest rates were just clicking right on up, our prices went up at the same time. I know, it blew our mind. So I am going to absolutely be keeping an eye on our market for Arizona for this summer of 2024, because what is going to happen? As you can see, our business insider is indicating that home sellers are going to be facing a summer from hell. The age of insane bidding wars and desperate deal making is coming to an end. So let's deep dive into this. So fortunate for sellers that the home prices are still rising. Now, are they rising like they were in 2020 to 2022? No. And yay, thank goodness, right? Like that was insane. They're more going up, like I think it was about 4 to 5% from last year, and they're only predicting about 1-ish% this year. But still, we just went through a housing market that had an appreciation that was off the charts in 4 years. I think the average of balancing, correcting of only a 1% increase, or even just holding, is amazing for where people are at and have amazing equity positions in their home, which also is buffering even the foreclosure market, because people have so much equity in their home at this time. So prices are still rising, but the throw a for sale sign in your front yard and then all of a sudden, poof, the house is gone, those days are gone. Like I said, unless it's significantly underpriced, great location, and remodeled and perfect to go, those days are gone. So sellers just have to get used to back going into a normal condition of just almost like a neutral market, where it's on the market for a couple like weeks versus a couple days. Let's take a look at what's happening in Arizona. So as a seller right now, if you're listing your home in Arizona, your success rate right now is 75%, and that is normal. So we're back to a normal success rate for sales. And even in 2024, your days on market are less than they were in Q1 of 2023. And of course, the 2020 to 2022 era is gone, of all the craziness, but we're getting back to a normal place of days on market and success rate for sales. So again, sellers just getting used to going back to that crazy frenzy storm to a normal real estate market transaction time frame of days on market and success rate for sales. The other thing that this article dives into is the perception that people, the value of their homes today versus back in 2020, 2021. So back in 2020, 2021, when the appreciation was going off the charts so fast and houses were going in a day and way over asking, you'd ask somebody what their house was worth and they'd be way off actually because it happened so quick. Appraisers, if there was even an appraisal, I know crazy times back then. If there actually was one, it was so hard to comp it out because you could barely even go past 3 months or a month to get the right comp to actually correctly get a price on a home. But now you ask somebody in 2024, usually typically their perception's a little off the charts. So now they're thinking their house is worth way more than what it was versus the little bit of correction of slowing down the appreciation that we've had. We can actually now go out a little more that 3 to 6 month range and get good comps for these houses. So it's very interesting how the perception has lagged. So the 2020 to 2022, there was a lag in what people thought of being under what their house was worth. And then from the 2022 to 2024, now there's a lag on them thinking it's over what it's worth. So it's just trying to help educate and shifting that perception. If you are buying or selling a home right now on what may your house be worth, please talk to a local realtor, real estate agent that is educated in your area specifically because it's hyper focused. So when I say, even though I'm in Arizona, I am hyper focused on the east side. If you ask me something about Buckeye, I will refer out because I am not a master in that area. But you need to talk to somebody who knows about the specific area you're looking to buy. This article also covers the fact that sellers were hoping, wishing, praying because the feds kept indicating that they were going to drop these interest rates, that they're going to get another flood, another wave of demand and buyers coming in and more for their houses. It hasn't happened yet. And it covers that about 58% of the outstanding U.S. home loans have an interest rate below 4% at the end of last year, according to the Federal Housing Finance Agency. If you put 20% down on a $400,000 house, the difference between a 4% mortgage and a 7% one would be $600 every month on your payment. Hence why people are being very picky about what they're actually going to pay for any particular home. We're also looking at the fact that no matter what, at the end of the day, some people, even though they've got a 2.7% interest rate and they would not want to move, sometimes they have to move. They're still going to move. For example, just was in a transaction, somebody got a promotion moving up to Washington from Arizona. They had to put their house on the market. They didn't want to leave. They didn't want to leave their 2.7% interest rate, but they had to. So because of certain things like that, nationwide inventory is up 33% from a year ago. Let's check out what's going on with our inventory here in Arizona. As you can see, we follow this weekly. Right now in 2024, we are the purple line right here. Our inventory over the past 4 or 5 years is the highest it's ever been at this time of year. So right now we're sitting at 16,031 active homes on the market. So yes, our inventory is climbing as well. We actually covered this that they're saying nationally March sales prices were up 6.6% from last year, and they're expecting home values to rise a measly 1% this year after a 6.5% increase in 2023. Seriously, perspective article, like journalist. I know it's you're trying to like create people to read and get eyeballs on this, but we just see like some people had like 100% appreciation in their home value in 4 years. So the measly 1% in 2024, just perspective. I mean, it's been pretty crazy. And that, by the way, it's better than it going down and stagnant, correct? But let's see what's happening in Arizona. As you can see, our monthly median sale price right now has gone up. It is $460,000. Again, that's a 17 major cities median price. It's very different in specific. For example, I believe Gilbert's 560, Scottsdale's I think 860 or 890,000. So again, real estate hyper focused. But for the 17 major collective cities, we are going up in price slightly, as well as the nation is. And the last thing, a part of this article, want to go over is because Americans see their homes as not only shelter but also an investment vehicle. A weak seller's market can be a problem too. If prices plummet, buyers might not want to purchase homes for fear of catching the falling knife. This is why economists talk so much about the need for a balanced market rather than one that simply favors affordability for buyers. It's fine line to walk. So where are we in Arizona? Are we now in a buyer's market, a neutral market, or a seller's market? As of today, in May of 2024, right now, Arizona, if we're looking just right here at our Cromford Market Index, which takes supply, demand, and other factors into consideration to come up with our CMI. And this range from 90 to about 110, we're in there. We like to say we're in a neutral market. If we're 110 and above, that's a seller's market. If we're 90 and below, that is a buyer's market. Right now, we are at 109.7. So we are right at the point where I would say we're still, I know I said 110 or more, but it's still kind of a baby seller's market for all major 17 cities. But again, real estate's hyper focused. So in the I can get it out. Specific city that you are in may be different. Because I can tell you, Scottsdale is still like in the 130s, where Buckeye is, I think, like at 64. So it does range. But overall, in Arizona, we are seeing a slight, still kind of sellers, baby sellers market flowing in to a neutral market. Now, if historically we trend like we normally do in the summer months prior to the 2020 era, going into that, and we dip down in our real estate sales in the summer months, we may potentially be in the summer in a neutral market. Potentially. I don't know. We're going to keep up on this weekly. We're going to keep you posted and let you know. If you have any question, comments, or concerns, please always feel to call, text, email, whatever your preferred communication is. If you like this video and you want more info and you want to stay up on this weekly, please like and subscribe because this is what we do. Wherever you are in the world today, I hope you're doing absolutely amazing. And never forget, we are always here for you.